Welcome everyone to the Temple of Consciousness. My name is Ava. I'm your host and spiritual guide. This is an update. I have not posted any updates lately, and the reason is because I've had enormous difficulties with my life circumstances. For those of you who've been following me, I'm a 72-year-old yoga instructor and tarot forecaster. I've had this channel for about 8 years, and everything was going along very nicely until the 2 hurricanes that hit Florida, where I lived, pretty much destroyed my entire life, forcing me to make a decision to move somewhere else. I decided to move here to the big island of Hawaii because I was familiar with Maui, where I'd been for 18 years prior to moving to Florida. The big island is a little less expensive, but totally unfamiliar to me. I rented a small room in a nice house with nice property, and there's video on my channel that shows you the house in my room, this room, and my car. I had to buy a car, and I was fortunate enough to find a car that was fairly inexpensive and seems to be functioning well. So that was what I thought would be an ideal beginning to my new life here. Well, it's turned out a little bit differently. Let me bring you up to date. This house is lovely in its grounds, but it's on a street that could be in the middle of LA. Well, not LA at the moment, but LA or San Francisco or New York. It's very busy, very noisy, completely inappropriate to film either my yoga or my tarot from. So there's a place not too far from here called Point of Rocks that I attempted to use, and there's video of me there, filming from there. And I thought, well, maybe that would be an appropriate alternative. It's beautiful and relatively quiet, except for the sound of the ocean. But that turned out to be inappropriate because there's so many people that frequent that place. I didn't have enough privacy. Sometimes people would be walking in front of the camera as I was filming. So I had to abandon that idea. Then I found, I came here with a recommendation from a friend to the owner of a beautiful yoga retreat where I thought perhaps I could move to and film from. And I was going to set up an appointment with the owner to discuss that possibility. When I set that appointment up, he had forgotten the interview, and so I had to make my proposal to the manager, and then to set up an appointment with the owner would take another 2 or 3 weeks because they were very busy with retreat yoga students coming on a regular basis. So, in the meantime, what I thought to do is to look for another place to live that provided me with the appropriate quiet and spirituality, beauty that I was seeking in order to make my films aesthetically pleasing. Well, that's taken me a very long time. The good news is that I found a place totally off-grid with their own water catchment, solar panels, a lovely cabin that the owner built. He built his own gorgeous house, and he built several other cabins on the property. It's very remote, very, very remote, close to the ocean. But there's someone occupying that cabin who's been there for 10 years. She is building her own cabin off property, and that cabin will not be available for her to move into for another month, maybe 2. So I have to wait here in this property while that cabin ultimately becomes vacant and I can move in. The cabin is beautiful. The only thing it doesn't have is high-speed internet. So I will have to bring my own. I'm going to buy a Starlink unit, bring it with me, and we'll share it with the other tenants on the property. Meanwhile, the owner of the retreat has texted me and said that he would be available to interview me after the 6th of January, which was on Monday. 2 days, maybe even 3, before that date, I decided that I would prepare myself physically. I'm a yoga instructor. This is a yoga retreat, and I'm going to offer my yoga skills to the retreat. So I thought, well, maybe I'll even take a nice long run. I haven't run for about 4 months. So I take a very, very long run. And I injure my knees. I could barely stand up. I've had to go through intense hydrotherapy, yoga therapy, herbal therapy, and it's this knee right here that's the most affected. As you can see, I have some mobility now, and this one's a little bit better. You can see that, but they still hurt. Not too bad. I can walk. I could barely walk before. So I couldn't, in that condition, go to get an interview to teach yoga. It wouldn't be, I would be guaranteed not to be taken seriously. So I've had to stay at home, attend to my wounds, and to see if maybe I could attain enough mobility to where I could go for this interview. And what I'm proposing to I haven't had the interview yet. I just texted him this morning and said that I'm mobile, somewhat mobile, and I'm ready to interview. What I intend to propose is that maybe I go out there once a month, film in their beautiful yoga room, and film their place so that everybody, all of you out there, get to know the place. And if in the future we could arrange to have you come out into a yoga retreat that I would be teaching at this retreat, then we would have a quid quo pro arrangement, and it would be collaborative. They would benefit from the publicity, and I would benefit from being able to teach you from a place where you could actually stay and take my classes every morning. It's a beautiful place, and they have full vegan meals, and it would be absolutely ideal. I have yet to interview for that. And also, I'm waiting to move to this new cabin. But there's a gorgeous patio, porch in front of the cabin that's covered so that even if it's raining, I can film yoga, and I could film all of my Astro Tarot forecasts from there. And I can show you what it's like to live completely off-grid. This is a fulfillment of a long-held dream of mine, and it's just around the corner for me. But for the moment, I have to film from here, from this rather confined space that's unaesthetic, and I have trouble with the lights and the sound and all. It's hardly ideal. But for the next month or two, this is all I can bring you. Please be patient. I'm working very hard towards making this an ideal and beautiful broadcast for you. But for the moment, it is what it is. And I appreciate your support, your love, your messages. Just put up with me for a little bit longer. I'm about to start my February Astro Tarot forecasts from here, as I have no other choice. And so look for that. Please subscribe, and I will see you soon. Thank you for your understanding and your patience. Namaste, and I love you.